There is always some new thing that big tech is chasing. First it was self-driving cars, and then it was the metaverse, and now everyone is all in.
The future is now.
That technology is
AI.
One of the things that AI as a tool has a capability to do is that it makes things a lot easier and a lot faster.
But you do believe it's going to change the world?
I believe it's going to change the world more than anything in the history of mankind, more than electricity.
What is really dangerous is the AI, being a powerful tool as it is, falling into the wrong hands.
And with this technology, I expect the upsides to be far greater than anything we've seen. And the potential downsides also, super bad.
Cybercrime has quickly become a top-level security priority across the globe.
When I started in cybersecurity in late 90s, early 2000s, there were very few attacks that could have been monetized. Whereas now they are, and it became an industry.
I think startups can change the world to make the world a better place. I hope some of these insights can maybe help you have a slightly higher success ratio and thus make something great come to the world that wouldn't have happened otherwise.
The first question I would ask is why? Why do you want to start a startup? Why do you want to start a business?
In today's episode, we are thrilled to have a visionary at the intersection of AI and cybersecurity. Meet Igor Portugal, an investor in multiple AI and cybersecurity startups. A trailblazer redefining how we protect and advance in our digital world. Join us as we explore the future of AI, cloud, and opportunities in cybersecurity. Also, insights you require to launch a successful AI startup. Haven't subscribed yet? Subscribe now. Stay informed with the knowledge revolution. Let's welcome Igor Portugal. Before we start, our audience want to know about a bit more about you. Can you give us a brief introduction about you, what you are now?
I'm just a passionate tech guy. I started out my career as a software developer and then fell into entrepreneurship, built a number of businesses, a few successful businesses. I guess I haven't really had any businesses that fail, but I have seen many that fail, so that given me a unique insight into how to run a successful business. And over the years, I sort of gravitated away from being a technologist more into being in sales and marketing around tech. So I've had a successful sales and marketing career in technology, and now I'm back in the startup land building some very cool businesses.
Awesome. Cool. What's actually trending at the cybersecurity and AI space at the moment?
You give the question and the answer in the same sentence. What is trending in cybersecurity is the AI. So about 2 years ago, I gave a talk to ITP gathering about the fact that ransomware have grown to a $20 billion industry around the world. And since then, I had a quote to me by a senior CISO of one of the major banks that actually the cybersecurity industry is now the world's third largest economy after the US and China.
Okay.
So it's the advent of ransomware and the ability by bad actors to monetize their attacks has really shifted the whole focus on cybersecurity. When I started in cybersecurity in late 90s, early 2000s, it was really a domain of script kiddies and people who were playing mostly. There were very few attacks that could have been monetized, whereas now they are, and it became an industry. And so the cybersecurity threat response industry and the cybersecurity industry has subsequently increased in importance because the bad guys now can actually make money out of attacking you.
Yeah. How does the AI play the role in the cybersecurity? What do you think the landscape looks like for AI and cybersecurity?
AI is probably one of the most misunderstood things today because there's a lot of hype about it because the capabilities are so exciting and so vast that everyone is at awe and at the same time is really scared. And I'm in a camp of technologists that I don't think people should be scared of AI, and if you understand it, you won't be scared of it from what I believe.
Okay.
But in terms of cybersecurity specifically, one of the things that AI as a tool has a capability to do is that it makes things a lot easier and a lot faster. So that applies equally to the bad things and the good things. So, if you think to one of my kids' favorite series is the Marvel series, and you think to an Incredible Hulk, we've now got the cybersecurity Hulks armed with AI, but equally so, the attackers got the very same powers.
Yeah, true. When you talked about this comic characters, right?
Yeah.
Something came into my mind is let's say in Marvel we got Ultron and the Terminator, Skynet becoming the bad actors of the AI world, right? So they are dominating everything.
Yeah.
Do you believe anything gonna happen like that? I'm being dumb, but just curious to know.
The Skynet and the Terminator war is a fantastic piece of entertainment, and I love them. But in the real world, I do not believe this is a real threat. AI is a piece of software. It's a tool that we humans are in control of. I wrote a whole thesis about it, demonstrating that it is impossible to write a software without control mechanisms in place. And while even some of the AI developers are coming out with some doom and gloom scenarios, what I have seen time and time again is that there are sufficient checks and balances in place, and the scenarios where AI will all of a sudden become uncontrollable are pretty impossible. They're in the realm of fantasy.
Okay.
Where AI does not have a motivation. AI does not have the objectives other than those that are set by the developers and the human drivers that drive the AI. What is really dangerous is the AI, being a powerful tool as it is, falling into the wrong hands. The people that have malicious intent, the belligerent folk using AI to amplify their malicious, belligerent aims with this super powerful tool. So, with respect to the people, what we should fear are the people, not the technology.
Do you ever believe AI gonna be self-conscious and maybe human itself allow permission to rewrite the code by for itself? Is it gonna be a danger scenario? Is something I'm curious to know. These things can see it in movies, but whether it's gonna happen or not, I'm just curious to know.
It's a good question and a very philosophical one. The consciousness, I firmly believe, is the domain of sentient beings. It's the domain of biological beings. Our consciousness is not just an algorithm. Our consciousness comes from a whole raft of things: our hormones, our DNA, our senses. Can we rebuild a sentient being? I don't know. I don't think so. Personally, I don't think so. But it needs to, whatever it is, it needs to have the same level of sophistication as we have. And I don't think we have the technology anywhere close to that. But again, I'll come back to my earlier statement that whatever we're building, we're in control of.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And so in that scenario, if we build it to be malicious, if we build it to do bad things, it will do bad things. If we build it to do good things, it will do good things. Right? And for that reason, I'm a big proponent of keeping AI open sourced, keeping AI available to everybody, because that is the only way for us to ensure that we have enough defense power to defend ourselves against anybody else who can turn against us.
What are the biggest challenges in cybersecurity at the moment, and how do your startups, trying to solve these kind of challenges? Can you give us a few examples?
Well, the biggest challenges include things like advanced persistent threats. We've got ever-evolving ransomware tactics. Talking about AI, the social engineering that ransomware attackers engage in has just become a lot easier. So if in the past you would receive a social engineering or phishing email that looked like it was written by someone who doesn't speak English, that is no longer the case. They get better. They use ChatGPT. They use generative AI to construct these attacks. So I think vigilance needs to go up amongst people. They need to be vigilant who they interact with. They need to be vigilant how they give away sensitive information. They need to be vigilant before taking any action that could lead to opening up security doors. They need to confirm that who they're dealing with is who they think they're dealing with. So, one of the things that I do, for example, is if I have a friend whom I haven't seen for a while, and I would try and be connected to them on a multiple social platform. And if suddenly they reach out to me on a social platform that I don't expect them to reach out to me on, I will go to a different social platform and verify with them, hey, was that you that just reached out to me? Just to check.
Okay. And just to double check.
Just to double check, And it's actually a very good practice
true.
to follow, even for your personal security.
True, that's very true. You still believe humans are the weakest point for cybersecurity?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Humans are they're absolutely the weakest point. But there are also technical, obviously always technical issues. People running old and unpatched operating system. One of the biggest threats that is coming in right now, again with AI, a lot of coders are now increasingly relying on AI to help them with software development. And AI is trained on the open source algorithms of 3, 4, 5 years ago, which means that all the vulnerabilities that were built into that software are now being regenerated by this AI coders.
Okay, so, that's interesting.
So if the skill level of software developers go down and they increasingly rely on AI generating software for them, they are now coding in all of the vulnerabilities that are known and that are exploited by the attackers.
Makes sense.
Right.
Maybe we can say this, you should not be taking any codes from a generative AI unless you know what's written in there.
Absolutely. You really need to know what you're coding. But the next step and the next layer is use the tools that verify vulnerabilities. So there are static code analysis tools. They'll read your code and they will identify where vulnerabilities are. So every time you build something, run it through a vulnerability scanner.
Yeah.
So that's one of the companies that I'm involved with, Blacklock, and that these are the services we offer, but we're not the only one. And it's a good idea and good hygiene to continuously test the security of the code that you're developing.
That's true. How someone can start learning about DevOps, cloud, security, and AI? You know, some pathways, or how someone who want to learn about these technologies, what they should be doing?
It's a good question. So, if you're starting out in life or in your career, I live by one motto: find the job you love, and you never work another day. So one of the hallmarks of great security folk that I've ever met in my life is that they're so passionate about it that this is something that they'd be doing even without pay.
Yeah.
And in terms of cybersecurity, it's a lot of fun to just set up a few servers, a few machines yourself, figure out how things connect, figure out how things can be broken. There is a lot of information online that you can find. There are a lot of online courses, but there's always a good idea to take a university or a polytech.
How about certifications? Like, for example, industry certifications.
So industry certifications are important when you go into specific areas. So, for example, when you come into a pen testing organization like ours, we're looking for certifications like CREST or OSCP certification. So those certifications are important when you need to put your sort of stamp behind the report that you produce for the client.
Yeah.
I'm always fan of employing people who do have some sort of a degree, because if you spend a couple of years studying and you can verify that always shows the tenacity and shows that you're disciplined. The discipline, absolutely. But in saying that, to me the most important thing is find people who love what they do. Because people who love what they do always will do a better job than people who do things just because they need to earn money. I mean, don't get me wrong, earning money is important, but earning money doing what you love is a lot of fun.
Yeah, true. That's true. Do you feel like formal educations are, like, is it important to have, or is it more like if you have the passion for what you learn or what you do, I think that will be a good perspective to get a job?
Mm-hmm. I think both are important. I think what I would value more is the passion.
Okay.
I would value passion over formal education.
Yep.
Any day of the week.
Yep.
But the challenge is when you meet someone, it's really hard to understand or to know what that person really knows and really capable of. And the formal education gives a busy executive who wants to employ you a little bit of a framework, kind of a pigeonhole that they could put you into, right? And that does help with if your pathway is finding a job, especially if you want to have a corporate career, having formal education is quite important. Don't waste your time going through front door or responding to job ads. If you're passionate about something, you can always find businesses or find employers who will spend time with you, who will understand your passion and will see the value that you can bring to their organization before they even thought about posting their job.
Why Blacklock.io? Because we already talk about all these solutions. I just want to hear it from you.
Absolutely. So Blacklock.io is an amazing New Zealand company. Nilesh Kapoor, who is the BlackLock founder and CEO, used to work as a manual penetration tester. And we've talked about vulnerability scanning, we've talked about DevSecOps. At the end of this whole cycle, there comes a manual penetration test when somebody needs to verify application and infrastructure security and give you a report as to where your weaknesses are so you can fix them. And that's the job that he was doing for many, many years. And what he found is that every manual penetration test is a bespoke piece of work which has a lot of menial and repetitive tasks that penetration testers hate. For example, nobody likes to write reports. Most technologists don't enjoy sitting in front of the customer and discussing scope of their projects and things like that. And so what he set out to achieve is to automate a lot of these menial tasks that he didn't like to do, so he can get on with ethical hacking, which is what his passion was, right? And so BlackLock.io is a platform that automated a lot of these tasks. The scoping, the scheduling of the job, the pre-scanning vulnerability platform. We've baked in about 15, or actually even more now, industry standard pen testing tools into the BlackLock platform, a combination of open source and commercial tools. And then we've automated the report writing. Right, and now we're taking even a step further. With the help of generative AI, we have automated the remediation suggestions. So BlackLock platform is now actually tells you when we found a hole, it tells you these are the ideas of how you can fix it. So we've taken something that was highly manual, very slow to do, automated it to an extent that it is still a manual penetration test, but we've automated all the menial and repetitive tasks. And because it is now automated, you can bring it closer into your DevOps lifecycle, and that means you can produce much more secure code. That means you can use the AI tools to give you a speed up in your development process, and then verify that AI didn't actually code any vulnerabilities for you.
So let's talk about the $1 million question. I have an idea in my mind. I want to make that idea into a product, then product into a startup. How does the journey look like? And anyone in our audience want to start an AI startup, how should they be doing it?
It's an excellent question. I'm very passionate about startups and New Zealand tech and startup ecosystem. We have a lot of very talented people in that ecosystem. So I guess the first question I would ask is why? Why do you want to start a startup? Why do you want to start a business? I've seen over my lifetime a lot of people struggling in business, mainly because they ended up in business for a wrong reason. So your question was actually very well framed. You got a very good reason for starting a startup, and that is you've got an idea and you think that idea will benefit someone. And that is a really good reason to start a startup, because if you don't see anybody else doing it this way, but you are absolutely convinced that this is the best way to do things or to provide a benefit to someone, that's a great platform to launch a startup.
Okay.
In my mind, if that's what you've got, the first thing I would do is just like my advice about looking for a job, is just find someone whom you think this will benefit and go talk to them.
Okay.
Find out why that thing will benefit them.
Yep.
Discover what kind of problem you're going to solve for them, right? And when you do that, one of the big things that you need to look for is how big is that problem in dollar terms?
Okay.
And that's very important, because then your startup will create a solution to that problem. One of the biggest challenges in technology that I've seen over the years is people creating solutions that cost more than the problem that they solve.
Okay.
So, I give you an example of an AI automation gone wrong.
Okay.
You probably would have seen my 99 coffees.
Yeah.
And I've made no secret that I use AI to help me write the 99 coffees write up. And somebody gave me a brilliant idea of how to automate that process, which I've implemented, and I have automated my perfectly functioning 1-hour process and turned it into a 4-hour process.
It's okay.
Through automation. And it sounds funny, right?
Yeah.
I had to refine it a bit more, so that advice actually did at the end worked. But the funny thing is, quite often the technical solutions to the problem, that's how they look. So you walk into a business and you find that something that you're going to automate, if it costs the business owner $5 and you give them a solution that is $10, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So when you got an idea and you got that idea is to help someone save something or make something, try and understand what is the size of the problem that you're solving. And then when you take that, then sit down and think about, will your solution end up being less or more?
Okay.
And if you can see the path of creating something that is going to be less, then you've got a very, very good opportunity to build a startup.
Okay. Let's talk about Stream Genius. How does the Stream Genius solving problems in the market with the power of AI?
So the idea of Stream Genius was to help businesses identify areas in their business where AI can help. AI or automation. So not every automation involves AI. Most do nowadays, and AI can be a very powerful automator. But identifying areas where automation can help and building a blueprint for the business on how to automate or improve that area, that is the role of Stream Genius.
Okay.
So the other area we look at that size of the problem that needs to be solved, and whether the cost of that automation warrants it. And so what we do is we then educate the business owners and show them how that problem that they have can be solved, how these areas can be automated, and enable them to do things faster, cheaper, or have access to a larger market.
Okay, when you say about automation, something came in. I saw Octovox on your portfolio.
Yeah.
Just want to know, what is Octovox and what's trying to solve? Because I saw some magic things happening in the backend. So I'm just curious to know what's really Octovox doing. And
so Octovox is my other AI startup that I've started.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people in the industry know me as the guy that started Vodacom, which is an IP telephony, voice over IP telephony, back about 20 years ago.
Okay.
And I just cannot help keep my hands away from telephony. So Octovox is bringing that passion of AI and my deep knowledge of telephony together. We've built technology that helps contact centers with supercharging their call center agents. So we've built the technology that enables a call center agent drive AI talking to their clients, giving a call center agent more than one mouth.
Okay.
As naturally with people, we've got 2 ears, one mouth. With Octovox, we'll give you 4 mouths. Four mouths and 8 ears.
Wow. So which means one person is handling simultaneously
4 different calls.
4 calls,
Exactly.
4 different calls. But
That's right.
he's not actively talking to them. It's AI is what doing the stuff, and he is just managing it, because physically not impossible to talk to 4 people, right?
That is exactly what we're doing. So AI is what is talking to the person on the other side, but we're keeping the human in the loop. We're keeping the human directing the AI and making sure that the communication is accurate.
Yeah.
And we've got a very clever technology that shows these humans what's going on, alerts them if there is a problem live as it happens.
Awesome. That's gonna be a good solution as well, because right now I have seen one of the biggest challenge in the market. You call any customer care, no one gonna answer you, or else it's like 2 hours wait period. Call anyway, it's biggest multinational company, you call them.
Absolutely. We're on a mission to destroy the call waiting time.
We are getting into the end of our podcast.
Sure.
Before we wind up, I'm gonna give you some rapid fire. This is like a rapid fire round.
Go on.
You can just answer as one word or small sentence, however you feel like. What is the best advice you ever received?
The best advice I've ever received, I didn't follow.
All right. Okay, what was that advice was?
It was an advice from a very wealthy individual. And I remember us sitting around the table, and he said, "Boys, I'm going to give you a piece of financial advice, which is the best financial advice that you can ever receive.
Yep.
Gather up and listen carefully." And we all gathered up and listened carefully. And he said, "The best advice for your financial management is this: stay married to your first wife."
All right.
All right. That's good. I did not follow that advice. And I figured out why it was a good advice later, from financial perspective.
Okay.
Sometimes you have to follow your heart.
All right. Okay, what's your favorite book?
My favorite book, by far, I would say Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. It's, I think it's a book that every entrepreneur should read.
Okay.
It gives you the understanding of why create. Why do we want to provide value to our fellow human beings?
Right. Okay. What's productivity hack that you have that you swear by?
The productivity hack that I swear by: have a plan, have a to-do list.
Okay.
So I always look in a CRM or in a task list, a way to organize and prioritize what I need to do for the day, and always review what I need to do in the morning and review what I haven't done in the evening.
Okay. All right. What's the one advice that you can give to our audience for a better future on a career perspective?
Find what you love, and you will never work another day.
Awesome. Thank you. Definitely appreciate your time, Igor. It was fantastic talking to you. You have anything that you have to mention to our viewers?
Other than for those of you in technology, please carry the good flag of implementing technology to improve people's lives.
Yep.
And be wonderful.
Thank you for your time. Really appreciate that. We have journeyed through the fascinating world of AI and cybersecurity, exploring the future, limitations and opportunities. The possibilities are endless, and the journey is just the beginning. Stay ahead and subscribe to our channel, your gateway to the knowledge of your growth. Thank you for joining us today. Keep exploring, stay informed. We'll see you in the next episode. Signing off from nlsa Podcast, this is Anuvindh.